Hey guys, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
All right, so if you don't have noise around you, take yourselves off mute because the one thing that I like, I do have a few people here with me as well, but the one thing that I do like is participation. Without participation, my job is not as fun. We always like to have fun in real estate, right? Let me share my screen for you guys. I even had Dan Torres on the phone. Now, when I'm sharing my screen, I will not be able to see you guys as much. So it's much easier if you speak up when you want to say something. Or if you guys, I know you're on the Zoom call. So if you guys speak up, if you have a question, ask it, okay?
Okay.
Let me get myself up and running. So we're going to start off with Paragon today. So I want to ask you guys before I get started. And Dan, you're a pro Paragon. I don't know how much training you need. I mean, I should be learning from you, I think, sometimes. What do you guys so far? Does everybody play around with Paragon? Let me ask you that.
Yes.
You have your signature set up for when you send emails out on Paragon? Does everybody know how to even get that set up? Okay. So part of knowing about Paragon is also not just search and everything else, but promoting yourself. So remember, one of the things we looked at are these toggles right up top of the screen. Everyone can see my screen, right? So preferences is where we go to for our signatures. You go right to the email button, the preferences. Now, whomever is on and is making a lot of noise, I think that's Dan Torres. Mute yourself. Wasn't you, Dan, someone else. Who's making all that noise in the background? Okay, good job, whoever that was. All right, Dan, you're off the hook. So we go to preferences, we go to email. And in our email, we have a whole bunch of different items. What we want to go down to is email signature. And you're going to notice on mine, I got a few. I got to remove some of these. You can have more of as many as you want. Mine is pretty basic, and it just has my name, company, cell phone, and email address. But you can put on here as much as you want because it is still coming from Paragon. So how much you want, how much little you want is fine, but you do want to make sure you have name, phone, and email address. It is coming from Paragon. It's not coming from you directly. It comes from a no reply site. Everybody get that?
Yep.
Everybody see where I'm at?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to check my guys here too, okay? Hi, how are you? You are? Lisa? I'm Noel. Okay, you got it. You can add different things to it, so you can do whatever you want. But I want to make sure everybody knows how to get there and can make the changes they want to make to it. So you can do it however you want to do it. You can put a team name, you can do all different colors to it, things you want to make to it. So the Collab Center is a new feature that has started coming into all of our emails, a recent. So again, the Collab Center is the same thing about your agent info. Got a little bit more information. I haven't really touched on this yet because literally, if you send out emails now, you have a choice of sending through the Collab Center. The Collab Center allows them to hit different reports when they receive the email. So if you ever send out through, when you send an email out through Paragon, you have a choice of either a regular email or Collab Center. And Collab Center lets them just look at more reports, multiple reports. Again, you have the office information, about me page. You put a lot of information on here to get more information. And a lot of it is pre-filled out for you, but you can change this. Right, guys? Now, make sure you take the time to look through all the preferences on here. There's a lot of different things to learn and know. It's all about playing. Like playing a game, Paragon is no longer your video games, it's your work games. 80s reference, it's your war game. Resource is just really just some basic information that you can learn about. It does give you some nice statistical reporting. You have access to RPR, flood info. The flood info you can get from tax also, and any Paragon help you might need. Membership, you see, when you see membership right here, if you're looking, when you're writing a contract, if an agent's information regarding their member ID that you need for the contract's not on there, you can go right to agent roster and get that information. The tax data. Tax data you use in this part right here is when you're filling out the listing contract, you can use that. Realist is really important to know and how to use. Number one, it's if you're trying to do land and other types of hard to find properties, it's a site that you do want to get used to using. Also, when you're doing your tax, your contracts, you need the realist copy to actually have the seller information. So what I mean is, I'm going to type an address that I'm working on right now. It's one of my listings, though. Again, guys, don't forget to speak up and ask questions, okay?
Hi, Noel, I do have a quick question. Am I able to, because I have to go to a listing, am I able to record this at all?
It should be recording.
It says recording. I guess my question is, how do you get back and look at it to record, to look at it?
So that will be on our YouTube channel, which should be coming up shortly.
Okay,
Okay, so the YouTube channel is being fixed. And that will be coming out, I think, within the next week. Because next week we have our tech week. And we
Right.
want to make sure that we're all available for that. But that's only about command and DocuSign. But
okay.
we want to start that. Everybody say hello to Flammor. Flammor is a real person. It's not just a fake name.
No, what's the day next week for the tech?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday. Let me see real quickly here. I think I'm going to do this later on, but this is not my email, so I can't send that one. Is my email? No, that's not my email. Hold on 1 second. Go to my Gmail. Oh, can't say it. Can't do it. Okay. So I'll find out for you guys. I know it's I'm waiting for an email from Ron right now about it, and I haven't got it yet. But it's going to be each day next week, an hour and a half a day, and I'll get you more information by the end of today.
Thank
You
you.
might know. Do you know the schedule next week? What hours? The hours for tech week?
It's 11 to 12:30, and then there's an additional half an hour, 11 to 12:30 on Zoom, and in person, there's gonna be an extra half an hour, 12:30 to 1, in person for anyone that needs extra help.
Okay. So, and usually a half hour runs 45 minutes. You don't have to worry. We're not going to say, get out, get out. So, but it's all here for you guys to help out. So let me get back to the screen. I'm at, okay, Paragon. So we did that. I want you to make sure, again, so the realist, the nice picture about realist, a whole new page comes up. So it doesn't take over your Paragon page. So now you'll see I have 2 pages up here. The realist has its own separate page. If you'll notice on this one right here, my seller, here's my property address, but my seller has a whole different address. So it's important to pull up the realist so you know who the seller is and their address. Sometimes you will need to reach out to an agent to confirm the seller is who he is. Because some properties, especially a foreclosure, you won't have that information, it may not match. Our tax records are not that quick. They don't update right away on any kind of bank loans or stuff like that. you do want to have the address on a contract. So this is a commercial property, so we're not going to use this one today. I do want someone, is Martin on the phone anywhere? No?
Yes.
Martin, you here?
Yes.
What address was the one you wanted to work on today?
As far as CMA,
Yes.
131 East Greenfield Avenue.
Is that in Pleasantville?
Yes.
Always check on a property to see if it was previously listed on the MLS. Because if you didn't see the property on any kind of, you always want to check what's out there in the past, what was on there before, what happened, a history of the property for yourself. I've done this many times on a lot of buyers, especially in Atlantic City, just research the property for an oil tank. So not everybody follows through on what they see and what they learn. It's your job to really be the expert. So you want to make sure that you're following through with your client and giving the best expert advice. But not all realtors will actually, if it wasn't oil tank from before, they won't check with the seller to see if they have that oil tank paperwork. So it's important to really do your research as you learn. This is a nice little two-story property you have there. 2007, it was last sold. New construction, yes. So it's brand new home in 2004. So now Martin is getting a listing appointment for this property, right, Martin? Martin? Okay. So part of the
Sorry.
MLS.
Yes,
Yes?
I'm driving, and I didn't want to disturb everybody with the noise.
Okay, you're the noisy guy. Okay, I got you. What we do in our MLS is we do a few things, and you're going to learn different ways of doing valuing of properties. I will tell you, when you're valuing property, you value properties a couple of different ways, depending upon the property condition, depending upon how the property is valued. You can't use a rehabbed home to value a home that's not rehabbed. Different values. And you can't use bank owns when you're valuing an average home condition. It's your job to know what it looks like and give yourself an idea. You might actually be going to an appointment before you see the house. So you want to have some value ideas before you get there. For our brand new agents, use RPR, use Zillow, and use the MLS to determine to get an idea of your values. It's not a science. You will not get the exact figure. Everybody go to a house and give the seller a different value. Someone give them a really high value so they get the listing. Of course, that's the listing you go call back in 6 months because it's already expired. But I want to be able to show you guys how to do searches too. Because right now, a lot of our buyers look in the market for homes. And when they're looking for homes, they're going on Zillow, they're going on our site. They better be on our site looking for properties. You're going to be getting updates when they look at a house. You're going to know what they want to see. Is that what you did last night?
Last night it went right away. I guess emailed them,
Okay.
and then they texted me, and I just told them to get the app, and then right away it went into my command. I could see everything that they were doing.
So here's a prime example of our website working in full effect. So we appreciate you doing all that stuff and sending it out to your client. So he emailed his client to the website. The client logged onto the website. The client looked at properties and he saw what they were looking at, and then they clicked on one they wanted to see, and he actually got a notification in his command right to his phone.
Yeah.
You ever watch too?
No, I don't.
Okay. Right to his phone that he wanted to see a property. Last night at 9:30, made the appointment for today. He's going to show it. Show it already?
4:30 is showing.
4:30 is showing it. So by the end of the day, he'll have a contract on a property that we did all through command. So this is what your clients give you the ability to do. Now, at the same time, the reason why we do our own searches, and this is why we do this, I will tell you as a realtor, our clients look at properties, and in the beginning, you guys don't realize this, but our clients look at properties that they either can't afford, completely misses what they told us they want. 100%. So it's your job also to preview some listings too, because in this market, it's tight. So you got to keep an eye on what's going on in the market to find properties for them to see. And they might see one and pass right by it, but you might see it and say, you know what, this meets all their needs. Let me make sure they do try and see it. And emphasize to them that this meets your needs. When you show properties, try and show more than one house at a time because they got to compare. If you only show one house at one time, go ahead, Horatio.
How many houses would you suggest we show when you take them out?
I try and show, I would say at least 3 up to 4 or 5.
No more than 5.
No more than 5 because, and you know, Dan, if you want to jump in here, please jump in here. The problem is they get confused.
Oh,
So investors are a little bit different. Investors I take out, I'll show 20 or 30 in a day. We'll make 10 or 15 offers. But when you're looking for your home, 5 is enough because they're mentally, they can't remember what they saw. And you want to make sure they remember what they saw.
So part of it, if I could jump in, no, part of it is
Please.
setting the expectation. So you as the professional, I would say, so Noel, I have matched 5 homes to the criteria that checks all the boxes that you wished. We're going out to see these 5 today, and yet I'll tell you, Noel, there are times where I take buyers out and the very first home they absolutely fall in love with. If that happens, it is okay to stop the search because there's no need for us to continue further when you have a house that we find to your liking. The expectation is that out of those 5 homes that we see, if we go see all 5 of them, the expectation is that, and the averages show that, we're going to make an offer on at least one of those 5 properties. So when you use that script, you're going to set the expectation of allowing them permission to fall in love with the very first house they see and not have to go see any other houses. And if they don't fall in love with the very first house they see, then at least they will know, because you planted the seed already, that once they see those 5 homes, chances are they're going to make an offer on one of the 5. So it allows it gives your buyers permission to really engage in the process, and psychologically allows you to guide them in, setting them up to make offers.
And in that setup that Dan's talking about is that you as the realtor are putting in their head that they are making an offer on one of these properties. Because they're out there, they already know that it's time to buy. A lot of buyers, as the market's changed, a lot of buyers are shoppers. You want to get those people out of your wheelhouse. Because if you're going out and showing houses, you're asking them, or I do, I think Dan, they had set up beforehand, which one do you want to make an offer on? Do you want to make an offer on this one? If you don't ask for the order, some buyers are afraid to take that step. Go ahead, Dan. Did you want to interrupt? You want to say something?
That was great. That was great, because so you guys as the professionals, we are crafting our profession. We are guiding the conversation. The minute that we lose focus of who is in charge and who's in command, you then get 1,000 properties emailed to you, and you're out showing 5 million homes over the next 9 months. You do not want that.
Right. I've learned over my time, if I show more than 10 to 12 houses, I'm done with the buyer.
Right.
It's done. Because they're not sure what they want. And I don't have the time or the patience to deal with it. But the last thing you want to be in real estate, taxi driver,
Take the top off and dress.
and that really is something that's out there. So it's important when you do your searches,
Keep the water in there.
all right, whoever's talking on my Zoom, make sure you mute yourself, okay? Unless you're asking a question. The important part for you guys is to get what they want. Now, that first appointment you go on might be 1 or 2 or 3 houses. Because you're number one, you're getting them in the office first to find out what their needs are, over the phone or Zoom, whatever. Then when you go to houses, you're finding what they really like and what they really don't like. You're asking questions. You're in there, in that home, doing the information that you need to put in this thing in your head. So the next time you take them out, you should know by heart what they want. Now, in the market we're in right now, I will tell you, some people are settling because there's so little on the market that they have to take what they can get if they have to buy now. So doing a search, it's really simple and easy to do an actual search for a property. Your buyer gets pre-approved. They get approved for $200,000. Right now, you put in 150, but don't put too high in, 210, because there's little room in negotiating right now. 210 might even be too high, because a 210 price might be a 215 sales price in today's market. Now, this is not the average thing, so I would still say put it around 210. And you speak to the lender on what they can qualify for. When you find a home, if taxes are a little bit lower, if they have a little more money to pay, then they pay a little bit more. You should know the area they want to be in. If they have children, they're going to specify what school district they want to be in. So they may want to say they want to be in Egg Harbor Township. Now, on your status, look for active, back on market, or extended. Do not waste your time on under contract, continue to show. Your buyer will fall in love with a house that they probably won't be able to buy, and you'll waste your time. Try and stay away from those houses. Nothing else really matters right here except for the bedrooms and bathrooms. What do they need? Well, they need a minimum sometimes of 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths. When someone says to you, I want 2 full baths, please make sure you ask the question. Do you need a master suite or do you need 2 full baths? It's 2 different answers. So homes that have 2 full baths are not always a master suite. Cape Cods are a prime example. Bi-levels are a prime example that have 2 full baths but no master. Does everybody understand what a master suite is? Please say if you don't know. You good?
Bathroom is inside.
Correct. Okay. Everybody online understand that?
Yes.
Now, I would say if you're not familiar with short sales, to stay away from them. And the reason is especially in our market with shutdowns, everything looming around, a short sale can take on an average of 3 to 12 months. So you can never guarantee a closing. Now, certain buyers do want to buy a short sale, they think they get a better deal. But at the same time, once they go under contract, you can't continue to keep on looking at houses because you tied up that property from somebody else.
Is that the same as foreclosure?
No. So a short sale and a foreclosure, short sale, okay, Mr. Sherry. The MLS class, once a month. The DocuSign's at 1 o'clock. Okay. I told you, just get him an Uber. Get him an Uber. Get your husband an Uber. So what was your question again? I apologize.
Does the same thing go for foreclosures?
Okay, so a short sale is a seller still owns their property, and they're asking the lender to take less than what's owed. There's a long, drawn-out process. And right now, with a lot of companies are short-staffed, it's taking a longer process. I just finished one after 2.5 years. And during COVID, we were approved right before COVID, and then it took us till the end of COVID, or not the end of COVID, until a month ago to close. We just made it in time. Before the buyer, he's a union worker, his job stopped in August. We closed July 31st. Literally just made it. So it's important to know your clients and what they need. It could be in a lease, and if their lease ends, a short sale is not a good idea. A bank owned, it's already been foreclosed on, and the bank owns. Both are pretty much sold as is condition. You're not getting anything from either person regarding repairs or anything. So you're buying it in as is condition. So when you do your home inspection, if it needs repairs, you're on your own. No one's giving you any credit. So that's why now, if we notice what we did here, we did 150. Hold on one second. Oops, my screen hold on. I don't like laptops because the screen's too small. So we got 150 to 210 active at Carver Township, at least 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. We only have 6 properties on the market. Now, normally this would be a lot larger because I didn't even put in style. If I put 2-story in, it would be gone. The style right here, again, is something for your buyer to ask. Some people love ranch homes. Some people love 2 stories. So it's your job to find out. The basement is another big thing to ask for your clients. Now, they may have a wish list, and your job is from that wish list and their price is to reel them in. So somebody could ask for a lot of things, but they may not be able to actually afford all those things that they want. And that's what your job to say, well, those things would be great, but in what you can afford, it's 2 different avenues. We might be able to get to a 1-bathroom house and get some of those things. But once we add the 2 full baths on, it changes. So now I want to show you what I mean. So right now, you could see only 6 properties in the whole market in Carver Township, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. But if I make this a 1, 13, so it actually adds 7 more on. So that's how you explain to a buyer when you're looking and when you're talking to them what you're looking at. So if I hit this now, so when you guys see my screen right here, this is a customized spreadsheet that I've made over the years for how I do things. When you open yours up, it's going to be completely different. You could add items right here on this customize button, add fields in, and then move them around and save them. I do this for the stuff that I do for CMAs and everything. This is how I have mine set up. Everybody understand what I just said? Okay, I'm going to assume no answers are yeses. You want to say anything?
No, I was trying
Okay.
to tell everybody to mute to listen to it.
Okay. But you can see right on here. So one of the good things about this is I can look right on the side here and actually list my properties by full bath. So if I wanted to see only the 2 full bathroom homes, I can look right here. If I also want to see the styles, I can look right there and get the styles that I want. Now, I know my clients don't want townhouses, so what I do is I check right here, and I'll knock off right here and get rid of those 2 townhouses and hit my check back, and now I have what I want right there. Everybody see what I just did? Just make sure, it makes looking at your list a little bit easier for you depending upon what they want. Now, a cottage and a ranch, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know the difference. People want to call cottage something nice. To me, it looks like a ranch too. So this is just an agent being a little more, Dan, would you say a little trying to be cute with what they say? Because this cottage looks like a ranch to me.
Creative, right?
Creative, but it could also actually lose them. If someone types in ranch for style, this won't come up. So on styles, I would get what you are so you don't lose. If anybody pulls up, if anybody put style ranch in, they wouldn't get this house. This one does have a basement there, which is a nice feature. So, but as your clients would say, well, no, I wanted a 2-story. So, well, right now in the market we have that we're in your price range, you only have a chance for a ranch home. And this is all like Upper Township, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Now, this is only, again, our MLS. There's another MLS called Bright, which might have some more, but it's unlikely in Egg Harbor Township. There's too many in Bright available. If they go onto the website for KW, then they might, the KW website does not limit listings. It pulls listings from Cape May MLS. It pulls up from Bright. It pulls up from Atlantic County, from Flex. So a lot of times you will get, and you'll get North Jersey brokers that put in the MLS. Hold on 1 second. I'm taking a phone call for a locksmith. Hi, this is Noel. Hi, who's this? Hey, Mohammed. Hey, Mohammed. I'm in a class right now. I'll call you about 2:30. All right, bye. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm waiting for a phone call from my locksmith to install some locks. Okay, so where did I leave off? Styles. Right. Right.
This is the right style.
Right. So now, if they want a different style, they may have to go to a different area. And Carpet Township doesn't allow it. So you might have to suggest, let's check out, I hate to say it, Pleasantville, or let's check out Absecon. But all values are a little bit high right now. So it's just what the market is. But Mrs. Buyer, did you check with your agent to see if you can qualify for a little bit more money? Because rates are so low right now, that approval you have from 2 months ago at 3.5% or 3.75 might be down to 2.75. It might even allow you to go up to like a 240 or 250 price range. So if we put 210 in here and we put 250, we're at 26 homes. We can still keep the one bath, and we're trying to find a 2-story like home. And now we do have several 2-stories. So notice the difference. As soon as we jumped up a little bit in price range, we now have all of these 2-stories and all of these Cape Cods. Makes a big difference. So it's important to show your buyers value difference. Now, I'm not going to say these are in the best shape, but now it's your job to, if their buyers aren't picky on what they want, then I will tell you one thing, somebody's been on the market a long time. So I'd be a little nervous on some of these homes. And when you look at them before you send them, so these guys right here, these first 3 houses, they've been on the market since 2019. They're all new construction that is not built. So that's why it's your job to look through it, because the picture looks nice and it looks like it's there, but you can go down and see that it actually is, and it looks like it's ready to go. This is not ready to go. This is not built. One of the easiest way to tell is right here, the taxes. 0. A 0 tax means new construction. So it may look like a house is there, and to tease to your buyer, and the buyer's go, well, it says the house is there. Oh yeah, it's very misleading. But the listing date is a telltale sign. So when I saw these 3 properties, and this next one too is going to be the same thing. Well, it's a base price. Now this one right here. Now make sure again you read it. Available to investors only. That means it's tenant occupied. And these are in probably a long-term tenant. So it was rehabbed or semi-rehabbed. They put a tenant inside because they didn't sell it right away, and that's why it's being sold that way. So your buyer could buy it, but they're not closing for it could be a year or 2. That's why it's important to look at everything before you send something out. Know your areas as well. This is Egg Harbor Township. People don't know Palermo is West Atlantic City. Still Egg Harbor Township, but the Pleasantville side of EH2. Again, but a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, nice house. It is in a flood zone. Makes a difference on approvals as well. Most buyers in Egg Harbor Township are not getting approved for mortgages with the assumption of flood insurance in there. It does count. It will lower their actually mortgage approval amount. It's your job to know these things, so make sure you look at everything before you show it. Elmwood. Now, a lot of these properties we look at that are active, and here's the other crazy part. Not everybody updates their listings. You can actually send your client an active listing. They go, oh, we want to see this. Oh, it's either multiple offers, under contract, and they haven't updated it yet. During inspection, you still can't see it, but everything else goes like that. Now, today, I actually had to cancel appointment with the client because I found out that their job has a COVID outbreak. I actually canceled my appointments with them and said, get tested first. Because I know that the job has like 15 people that have COVID. I know, Dan Torres, you don't agree with that, but I got to follow the rules.
No, I agree with everything. It's going to keep you safe.
So it's not just me, it's also your clients. It's also the house you're going to. Because most of these people expect you to know, and you have to sign forms. There's actually releases in almost every MLS. There's typically some type of COVID, especially occupied homes, COVID clause in there. So it's your job to check. And showing time, if you ever go on showing time recently, there's a big banner right there. Check your client, make sure they don't have COVID. Ask them. Right in showing time. It probably came off when you clicked on that listing. So it's important you guys know what you're supposed to and what you're not supposed to do. So again, your job, go through the homes, look at the homes, pick the ones they want, see what's going on. It's a nice looking house, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 249.9 in Upper Township on Boston Avenue. And when I look at it, I go to the remarks, and occupied month to month, means it's probably hard to get into, but it's a good price. May not be the best condition either. But for a client for a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, it's not a bad property to get into so they can see it. It's also a good starting point to show what a nice 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath may look like out of their price range, but what's the difference? So Mrs. Buyer, you can buy this in the 240s, but over time, you can make it into this. So it's, again, you're painting the pictures. You're making, when you're going through that house, you're making them see what they want. Now, at the same time, Martin, you still here? When they make an offer, they may say to you, no, what's this house worth? That's where your CMAs come into play. Besides listings, you also do it for buyers. Buyers want to know if they're making an offer and someone's asking $280,000 and they want to offer $240. Number one, it's a little crazy right now, but a seller could be crazy at his $280 price. So you as a buyer have to have an idea on those values. So you also look at sold properties. On sold properties, we do not go old. We can go up to a year, but we try and stay between 6 and 9 months, and even sooner. So I'll always put a year up to make sure I have enough comps to look at. But now you want specifics, meaning specifics are you have to compare apples and apples. You can't compare a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath to a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath ranch or 1.5 bath ranch. You must compare apples and apples. So we're going to look at a 3-bedroom. Let's go to Martin's house so we can get to apples and apples. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story, newer home. A newer home means Pleasantville average home is 1950s, 1960s. This is a 2004 built home. That's considered a newer home, a newer built property. Not new, but newer. So the vocabulary you guys use from when you describe things, never describe new unless it was put in the day before you actually showed it. Everything is newer. You don't get yourself in trouble. Newer is an open-ended call. Excellent condition is only for new construction. Everything else, if it's rehab, is a good condition. You don't know what's behind the walls. So let's go to this property. It's a 3, 2.5. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get rid of our price. We're going to keep that we have there. We're going to get rid of Egg Harbor Township and put as Pleasantville. And we're going to add in here 3, 2, 2. We're also going to put in the half baths because we want to really compare apples and apples. At the same time, it lowers what we actually have to work with. When you're comparing a 2-story home, click all that are similar. You can click a Cape, colonial, contemporary. I wouldn't even click a buy level just in case, so you have enough comps. Go through it. And I would do a split level too. There's tons of split levels in Pleasantville. We got 9 properties to deal with, okay? So we're looking at 9 properties right now in all of Pleasantville. When you're looking at, and that's the crazy part is there's only 1 active listing. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath in Pleasantville right now. Which is an amazing, Dan, is that amazing? Is Dan still there? He's still there.
That's affirmative, sir.
That's amazing. I mean, that is, we've never seen that kind of lack of inventory. And that's a lack. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start calling all the 2-story expireds from 6 months ago and call them right now. You too, Dan? So when we're looking at this, we're trying to find a value for our property. Now, this is all Pleasantville. Pleasantville's a big city. We want to see where our property laid out. We can get some base information right here on the screen. We know our average prices, our median prices. So we know an idea where we want to be around on sale prices. It's amazing that our average or median are only $3,000 apart. Normally these are monster differences. And the reason they're so close, because there's no bank owns. The bank owns have really changed the market drastically, especially in Pleasantville, which a year ago was 35% of the market in Pleasantville. Even rehabbed homes. You can see the major difference. Now, the 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths also notice they're almost all newer homes. The ones that don't have ages, you can actually click right on the MLS. And looking from this from the outside, it's almost impossible to tell what kind of style this is. Depending upon how they list it as, it's either going to be a buy level or a split level. But when you're entering right in the middle of the house, it's never going to be a 2-story house. Does everybody know what a split level looks like or what it is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So a buy level home, when you walk in the front door, you got almost like a V. You go up or down. That's a buy level. A split level home, you walk in, and at the stair level, you have 3 levels. It's something like a Z. So you can go down. You have level here, living room, dining room, kitchen. I'm sorry, let me go over here. You have 3 levels. You have a lower level, a living level, and a bedroom level. Each step's about 5 or 6 steps. Now, some are 4-level splits that actually have a basement underneath the lower level. Those are pretty cool. There are a few of them are in Seeking. They're big, really big. But the bedrooms areas are tiny because you only have half the sizes on each floor. So this one, as we look at it, we're going to see if it is a master suite. Sometimes it will tell us, sometimes it will not. Of course, it's one of Jose's listing, and he leaves no information because he normally sells his listings before they even go into market. So it's just for a comparable basis. So we have very little information about this property. Not even any pictures except for the front photo. I'm going to call Jose and give him some shit. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to show you the age. I apologize 100%. On the MLS sheet, when you're looking at it online, you have toggles right here. These toggles will help you determine what information you want. So the red button is realist. Click on this. It'll take you right to the tax records to pull up the information. And not everybody actually clicks on it like he didn't do, and it's not connected to it. You got to hit launch realist. The reason we're doing this, we want to see when this was built, see if it's part of our comparables, because he didn't put it in there, and it probably is not part of our stuff. But we're going to go back also. We're going to check real quick, and that is a rehab house as well. So we want to make sure we check that one. For now, we're going to check off of it, and any other one that did not have it. Park Avenue, this one I can almost guarantee it's not because I know this house. Oh, I could be wrong. It looks like it might have been probably rehabbed. A Jeannie Ball listing. Lewis sold it. We can give them both a call. Nice in-house deal. This was an auction house that they probably rehabbed partially. And it does have a master suite with a bathroom in it. Damn, I hit the red button to see if there's tax records on it. And on the tax records, it'll show me when it was built, and it was built in 2004. So this is a great comp, exactly like Martin's house, exactly. So that's a great property. No. So the builder stuff you would normally find if the owner kept the information. Our MLSs don't really keep that. Almost all of Pleasantville was spec homes. There's very few developments, very few. I think there's only 2 actual developments. But most of them are spec homes built on lots all over the place. Egg Harbor Township, you might run into some spots where it'll say the actual builder name in the beginning, in the remark section, but only comes from the seller. Our tax records, awful.
So I had that question at an open house, and I was able to find out an old listing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't know where if I could.
Right, it will not say in tax records. So we were not that privy at that point in time. So we're gonna get rid of that one listing. We know Park is perfect, and Shadeland. Shadeland, I can tell already, is one of those newer houses too. So the other thing that we looked at when we're looking at homes is location. What do we always learn in our real estate school? Location, location, location. How do we determine location? Well, we actually have a map function on this program to look at and weed out properties. So I can actually scroll down, make sure, again, you guys play. Playing means you look at all of your reports. My specialty views have several forms in it. They have a Google map, associated docs. Anybody know what that means?
Yes.
Okay.
Could be disclosure, could be lead-based paint, could be anything.
Yeah, is that Barb Morgan?
No, Carol.
Oh, hey, Carol, how are you? I'm sorry about that. I can't see anybody's name, so I couldn't tell. Right, so associated docs, especially in Pleasantville, would hopefully be the lead-based paint. So I already signed it, it should be in there. You need it for your contract either way. But it's also a Google map. So in a Google map, I can click right on and see where all my comps are and click off the ones that aren't near me. So now I can still go back to Martin's and it shows me where his is. So his is on Greenfield, and I can actually zoom in or zoom out. I don't know how to do that without touching the screen. Oh, going the wrong way. Oh, there it is. Zoom out. Zoom out. Yeah, sorry, right mouse. If you don't have a touch screen, you got to zoom out. Sorry, I have a touch screen, so it makes it easier. Now, Martin's listing is in a unique section of Pleasantville. And Martin, when you take on this, you have to ask the seller if they have flood insurance, because they are near the water, and that is the flooding area.
Yes. Is that good as far as bringing the price up or down? I assume it goes down, but you know, being next to the water, generally prices go up.
Yes, if you're in Market and Ventnor, it goes up. If you're in Pleasantville, it goes down.
Okay. Okay.
Because it actually lowers the amount they can afford on a house. Now this has a small raise, so it was built up a little bit. You're probably looking at like a 3 or 4 foot raise, which might be enough to get rid of the flood. I don't know. That's what you want to ask them, the seller. But that's definitely because now they have to pay flood insurance. If flood insurance is $2,000 to $3,000 a year, that's actually $200 to $250 a month that could have gone to a mortgage. That's not going to flood insurance.
I see.
The same house a block over that is the same age, same everything, could be worth $20,000 more because they don't have to pay flood insurance. Does that make sense?
Yes, so this one should be valued at about 160, I guess, or I'm
I
wrong?
didn't say anything yet, Martin. You're
Okay.
jumping the gun.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
So-
making myself.
We're looking at our areas right now. So we see where Martin's is. Martin's is over here. We have 2 over here. We're going to get rid of these 2 properties. 108 Lindley. I got to scroll in to see what's there. Oh, 108 Lindley and 130 Princeton. So we know right now, let's see if anything else is over here. No. Everything else? No. So we're going to go back. We know now Lindley and Princeton are out because they're in a different area entirely. Go back to our views. We're going to get Lindley. Of course, it's the only active listing. It's a good thing for you, Martin. There's no active 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths around them, which helps out a lot. And Princeton. Get our check back. So now we have our 6 properties. Our 6 properties now range even a little bit high, 157 to 1. Now, what you're going to do here is you're actually going to look at each one in particular to see what it has compared to your property. So it's your goal to figure out what is most similar to yours. 2-story, no garage, very similar on East Floral, much closer to the water. But let's see real quickly here. Is that water? Oh yeah, so this is the little side canal right off. Everybody remembers the old high school in Pleasantville. That's where this was, right around there. That's a similar house to yours. West Edgewater's right on the other side. These are all very similar to your property. So they're all very similar in location, size. But I would not use this one right here on Park because it is bank owned and it's sold very, very low. It doesn't make sense to use a low comp, but it doesn't match the rest of the market. Shadeland, and then McKinley. And so McKinley, right. So again, these are all similar. So you get narrow and narrow. Your goal is to narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow until you're just like your property. So I thought I got rid of this. And now we're down to 5 properties. So you can do a great CMA off 5 properties. And you're going to be looking at, remember, go back to our subject. And we are, you'll pull the tax records up on this, Martin. You have the square footage of 1440. When you go in, you're going to know the condition of the property, or hopefully you know beforehand too. It helps, it makes it a little bit easier. And when you do your search, it's really good on this stuff is to use the features of the house, hardwood floors, upgrades compared to what you're looking at that you have, and that's how you determine your value. You guys have questions? Any questions out there?
Nope.
My new guys, any questions? All right. So it is now 1 o'clock. That's 5 of 1. I'm going to give 2 minutes for any questions. I have starting. Hold on. I think I do have a question. Let me see. Just taking it all in. Okay. Thanks, JJ Mitchell. Go ahead.
We were talking about the different MLSs. So if we get someone search at us, the search and things are coming up in a different MLS from the KW, how do you handle that?
Well, the good news is you're a part of KW Keller Williams. And the nice thing about Keller Williams Atlantic Shore is we have access to the Cape May MLS. We have access to Bright. We have access to Flex, which is in Monmouth County. We have access to Garden State, which is even further up. So you have access to all the MLSs. You have Laura up front. She'll give you the passcodes. If it does not work, do not keep on logging in. Someone may change it. Wait till the next day. Okay? You can join more than one MLS. I belong to myself, Cape May, Bright, Atlantic County. I'm getting ready to join another one right now. But you can join to whatever MLS you want to join to. You're getting listings in other places. It's beneficial to join because Rosalie will get your actual listing under her name. You can put your name in there, but she gets all the calls and everything else. If you want those calls, you have to have it in your name. I put listings in other places without putting a sign on. I get calls left and right from other websites as well. So I got a few leads from a listing I have out in Southampton, New Jersey. I took my sign down a while ago. Just kept on getting broken, and I've kept calls on.
Kept getting broken.
So we're going to be switching out to DocuSign. So if anybody wants to grab a glass of water or anything, please take a minute, do your thing, and we're going to switch over to DocuSign in a minute. I'm going to ask Laura to. Dan, are you at the office? Dan,
I'm actually pulling in now. No, I'm on Tilton Road.
is Kim up there?
I notified her about it. I hope she's up there.
All right, I'm going to ask Laura to.
No, I'm right here. I'm virtual right now.
Okay.
But I do have that list that Laura sent via email if somebody needs it.
What list are we talking about?
The list of all the MLSs and passwords.
Okay. All right. Let them get them from her because they have changed. I know there was a problem with one of the MLSs. I think Bright changed last night.
Okay, perfect.
I'll be right back in 1 second, guys. I get my bottle of water. You guys talk among yourselves. There's so few people here.
What, like 10 days maybe? A week? Yeah.
Very new. So,
You held up because of the testing centers and things like that. Yeah, I had gone to middle estate school right before the quarantine started. I just ended, and then everything shut down. So you had to wait. I had to wait, and then by the time I could take it, like, I don't know if I remember any of that. I really had to cram.
that's why I wanted
Yeah.
to take it.
Yes.
That's what I said. I was like, heck, I'm dead.
I mean, some things came back, but I definitely had to like really cram.
Have to be practice. Yeah. Then my fingerprints.
Just like getting an appointment.
Just getting an appointment. That was anywhere. I'm like the black search. Didn't matter.
It seems like everything's getting better.
It's
They're still.
like by the time we got done, that 1 year, they opened up.
You made extra money. Well, so there's a spot.
Yeah, it was
Can you go over how to set up the your contact to get the automatic emails?
They did that with me, and I don't even remember, but he didn't go over that.
Okay, because I came in later. I don't want to ask.
He should do that with me.
Oh, did she? Okay, yeah, I can talk to her.
It works. I loved it. I was going in and put your signature on it. I tested it too.
Oh,
I'm
good.
sure.
Yeah, let's see what's with it. But this is helpful. We're covering a lot. I know once you start applying and having to actually use it, yes. Yeah.
To move and do something.
No, it's 12 to 1.
All right, guys, I'm sorry about that. So did you move because you needed battery strength or just,
Yeah.
did it just on the side?
Both, absolutely.
All right, so I took a picture of what's going on next week. So 11 to 12:30 every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Monday, we're going to do contacts. Can't even remember my rating. Contacts, referrals, and smart plans. And then on Tuesday, we're going to do smart plans again, campaigns and designs. Wednesday's going to be marketplace, consumer, and opportunities. Thursday is going to be DocuSign for another half hour. So we're going to do the same DocuSign class or similar one next week. Okay. Each day is from 11 to 12:30, and then at the end of that, it's going to be a half hour questions and answers. The smart plans should bring most of your questions and the contacts as well. But it's going to be a base class, so everybody gets back involved, knowing what they're doing, and help them out. Everybody hear me?
Yep, so far so good.
I lose my online attendance for next week, for our next week classes. They'll all be Zoomed, but it's great to be here too. Ron is going to be teaching them, but what I'll be doing is I will be walking around and checking on everybody as they're doing it. If they need help, Ron and I will go back and forth with things. So I'll be here every day for those. Ron will be teaching those, and Ron Blozak from the Margate and, the Brigantine and Little Lake Harbor manager.
No, what was on Wednesday?
Wednesday is, hold on one second. Took a photo of it, that's how I knew about it. So Wednesday is the marketplace, the consumer app, and opportunities. The consumer app, I will tell you guys, definitely a thing you want to check out. When we say consumer, not just a consumer app. So as you guys open up your commands, we talked about playing with Paragon. Command you're playing a lot with too, even more so. On the bottom here, you have consumer. We're gonna go over that on Wednesday. Now, part of what we're doing here is a base class again to make sure everybody gets more in touch and involved with command. We're gonna start doing more advanced classes later on throughout the rest of the year and next year, a lot more advanced classes. We want to get everybody up to speed on the basics and then really move to advanced for those people that have grabbed onto it. Okay? So today we're going to do a buyer contract on Martin's new listing. So one of us are going to buy Martin's property today. Congratulations. The Martin's property we're looking at was this property right here, which is 131 East Greenfield. We want to make sure we have the tax records up for it. You need the tax records no matter what if you're writing a contract. You need lot and block, you need all the information. Everybody okay doing a buyer contract? Is anybody do anything different? I'm going to ask you guys first. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
So in order to start a buyer contract, they have to already be within your contacts, correct?
Correct. So let me use.
Now, what if I have Mr. and Mrs. Mercoon? So I have to put them in as two separate contacts, or can I put them together?
You can have Mr. and Marcone as one contact for now. But if you're going to send emails to each one separately, like if they're on smart plans, then they need to be done separately.
Okay, perfect. Thank
When
you.
you write a contract, they can be under one. So let me go to my one of my contacts here. See if I got my surround contact. I use my ex. That was good. She shouldn't read her emails, so it's okay. So we're going to use Gloria as a buying Martin's property. So we are a buyer today. Now, as you get proficient on this, this will normally take you 20, 25 minutes for a full contract at the most. In the beginning, please step up and expect to be an hour. Could be more, could be less. As you get to know your as you get to know your business, you get to know where everything goes. It goes quicker. So the first thing I need to do, I have to have an opportunity for Gloria. I can't do a contract without an opportunity. Create my opportunity in the contact. Now it says listing here. I need to change this to buyer. I'm doing a buyer opportunity. It's different forms. So you need a buyer opportunity. Here's the client. The opportunity name always automatically populates. I always do the address. 131 East Greenfield. Now you can put all this information is already in the MLS. So hopefully Martin gets us a 6% commission, so it'll be 3% thus. Remember, I only represent the buyer. I only put the buyer stuff down. As a listing contract, it's the same thing. You only represent the seller. You only do the seller side, 3% commission. If you do both sides, you have 2 opportunities. Understand that online?
Yes.
Buyer and seller. Budget is the price around what we want to buy it for. We say 165. And this is going to be an actual active, because we're getting ready to write a contract. And we're in negotiations. Create opportunity. Oh, my opportunity is created. I click right on the opportunity.
Where'd you put me on?
Right on the opportunity itself. The address. Whatever opportunity name you name it. So for your investors out, so if you're an investor, you do every address. You don't do the investor's name. You could have 40. Right. You want to make sure you populate a little bit of information from here so it'll auto-populate into your actual DocuSign account. So put in the property address. Click on the country. As soon as you start typing the address, it'll start coming up with information. And there it is. Didn't even have to do much at all for it. Scroll down and we'll look at it real quickly here. And I'm going to go right back to the top. And I'm going to go to Documents.
You're not going to save that first?
It already saves automatically.
Okay.
As soon as you put it in there. So as soon as I put it in this part right here. Okay, so when I hit edit right here and I put the address in, I just hit saved down there. It was already in there. Now I'm going to slow down a little bit. I apologize. Sometimes I go too fast. So I got to go a little slower for you. So our next section is Documents. We're going to click on Documents. Now first, the screen looks pretty blank. You want to go to Place Checklist Type and click on Residential. Sometimes you'll see residential or bank-owned. That's more for listing size. A lot of bank-owned listings are one-page contracts, and they don't conform to regular listing contracts. So now, there's still not a lot of information right here. Here's where you can actually add in if you wanted to. Remember, so you guys understand, Command is based for you to help you out, organize your whole transaction. During your consultation, you can add an item. You can actually add in your pre-qualifications, and you have it saved somewhere.
Cool.
You can add information in here to save it, so you have it to you. But under contract is where we get the forms we need to look at. Now, one of the things you're going to come across a lot is called compliance. Compliance gets you paid. If you're not compliant, you don't get paid. Right, Al? So it tells you most of the required documents in here, what you're going to need. So you know what you're going to need later on. Start my transaction. I go right to that word, start a transaction. Now, some of you still on dot loop. So it'll come across a little bit different when you hit start a transaction. When I hit mine, my wheels are turning. And it goes right to my DocuSign. My password is saved. Remember, guys, too, same thing works here. You guys have to ask questions to me to help me help you. You ask questions. So when I open up this page, I've taught many of you the same class. What is the most important part of this I'm looking at right now? Most important section.
Details.
Details. You don't fill out the detail page, you're going to spend a lot of time wasting. A lot of time. The more information you put in details, the further you're going to get and the further it'll be easier for you.
That's where it takes the information and populates it in the document.
Correct. Now we do that by hitting the word edit. Hit the button at the top now.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to help out Al for a minute. Because what we are here to do is help you guys out. But when you come in, it's okay. That's wrong. You don't understand. There's going to be a little pass. That's true. Doesn't matter. Remember, computer. All right, guys, we'll get started in 1 minute, okay? We want to make sure everybody's on the same page. There's no confusion.
Why I did that.
So details. Details is our best friend. Our best friend. The bestest of best. We hit our edit screen and we make this where we make our changes. And Carol, we make sure we fill this all out, and at the bottom of the page, we make sure we hit save. This is the one page where if you don't hit save, you will be very upset in about 15 minutes when you go to the next section.
I learned that the hard way.
Oh.
Right, several times. I learned the hard way too because I was on the phone with her.
Thank you for all your help.
So all this stuff up top, the room currency and all that, you really don't need right now. Again, one of the things I want you to remember is Command and DocuSign are all based on not just New Jersey, United States, not just United States, all of the world. We have actual KW offices in many different countries. And so Command works and DocuSign works for those countries too. And that's why it seems like there's a lot of crazy information in here. Make sure you put the address under your location, 131, it's required no matter what, and you want it in there. East.
Now, if you have the tax records up, will it allow you to just to copy and paste?
You still have to separate each address, so it's probably easier to type it,
Okay.
because you have to do each city and each name. If it's that long, you could do it that way, but it might take more time to do it that way. You want to go straight down the line. Year built is important. Year built's important because it'll tell you if you need lead-based paint or not. 2004. This information is not as important, but you can put it down if you want. Residential detached and 08232. So now we filled out this side of the page. We can also put in, we had the contract amount that came over, earnest money deposit, the deposit you're putting down. So for my guy, we want to buy the property, we're going to put down $5,000. And if you're holding the deposit company, the title company, normally, sometimes attorneys. The contract date, you really can't use right now. A contract is not a contract until seller and buyer both sign the property. Once that comes in, then it's actual contract date. Now we want to go back to the right side. So we finished on the left side, now the right side. The right side is the seller information. And we get that from the realist. Now this is where you can do some actual copying and pasting, because those are some long names. Now I would hit Control C, go back to here. My first name, Control V. Now I'm pretty sure that Denara is the first name, so I hit Control X, spacebar, Control V. Is that the girl from Game of Thrones?
No, she's from Russia.
I tell you, that sounds like Game of Thrones, right? Even the last name too.
I never watched it, so.
So now you have a buyer and you have two sellers. So you need two sellers on here. Oh, shoot. Get rid of that screen. There we go. All right. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to put the other seller's name in there too. You only need one address for the seller. You do not need two addresses. So, but you need the primary seller's address.
Where did you click to get seller two?
I just scrolled down. So here, I'm going to go through real slowly here. So on our right side, we have seller one and seller two.
But what if I needed a three?
That you would add on during your documents later on,
Okay, thanks.
but you can add it on. You can add on multiple addresses. You only need one address for an actual legal contract. If you added multiple addresses, it gets multiply confusing.
Okay.
All right. You're going to have a listing agent, and you're going to have buyer one. Buyer one transposed over from sorry guys, I needed my water break. From command, her information transferred over that I had in there. If I didn't have all the information in there, it wouldn't transfer over. And in the bottom is my information. Most of my information transposed. Now, for those tech gurus who are tech gurus, do not use autofill. If you use autofill, it will fill in another bunch of other spots. And all of a sudden, when you go to print, you'll be all confused on why there's so many buyers and sellers. We've all learned this by example. So autofill is great and easy. Don't use it.
Okay.
So for those of you in Little Egg Harbor and in Brigantine, you can use the addresses in those offices on your contracts. You change that in the preferences in DocuSign. But when we fill our stuff out, you're going to notice the city, country, and state are not filled out because they have to be pre-populated afterwards. Because again, we're in the United States, then in New Jersey, and we are in 08225. My city is North. If you're getting tired, you want to take a break, go to the bathroom, save it. You can go back and edit as many times as you want. but you don't want to forget hitting save. Not that I'm going to change anything. Everything's been updated that I needed to. Scroll back to the top. Really get rid of Dan's name. Hit the edit screen. I can go back and make those changes I needed to make. A legal contract includes the seller's name, seller address. You represent the buyer, so you're not getting the seller's email address in here. You're representing both parties. You can do it all together. I will tell you, it does get confusing when you have two sellers, two buyers, selling agent, buying agent, the same person. There's literally 8 different colors on your contract, and it gets a little, you have to take your time. So now we got Denary. I love it. I do need her address, though. Where do I get the address from? Who's going to tell me where I get her address from?
Command?
Realist.
Realist.
Right, realist. So I go back to realist. Here it is right here. And look, she does not live at the property. She lives in even a stranger named street than her actual name. If those of you guys who used to use .loop, you actually had to put in an address, a number, a street name. It was all confusing. I like this much better. I just have one address. Yeah, my city was Malvern. I happen to remember that, to be honest with you. I know it was in the United States, and I know it was in PA. Now, it may seem slow right now as I'm doing this. I will tell you, I'm not used to dealing on a laptop, and I got to go a lot slower. Remember when I can't see it at all. And then this thing keeps getting in my way to go back. So 19355. Okay, now, seller 2, I don't have to do any information for. The listing agent, that information you will normally get from Paragon, and you will put all of it in there. You want it in there, especially his email address, because he's going to get a copy of this contract. But right now, I'm not going to put anything in except for his email address. I don't know. I do. We got Martin. Martin, what's your last name?
Petronov, P-E-T.
All right. Stop. I'm using P.
Yes, sir.
You put his cell phone in, his work number, that I know, 609-484-0. You can do it like a regular address or however you want to do it. Is your email address easy or hard?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's M, my last name, mpetronov@gmail.
Okay. We're going to use my assistant's email address, mp@gmail. And the good news is, I know the company information. Oh, see, I almost did autofill. Had to correct myself. Any questions so far?
Now, is it easier to make each agent a contact to add them in, or is there a place to save them here so that the next time you have a deal with them, the information auto-populates?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to click right here for 1 second and see something. It's probably easier to put them in there. And there might be a ton of people in here, but I'm pretty sure these are not my contacts in here. These are contacts from all over the world. I see some offices on here, but I go to my address book, and these might be my old things I've done business with. Yeah, this comes actually from my commands.
Okay,
So
perfect.
yes, you can do that. Good question. I would just rush through these and don't do that stuff. So great job.
Well, I love Al, but I don't want to write his name for 25 deals.
Good job, Al. She gives you 25 contracts. Great job. In your command, it's all from my command.
Okay,
So
so in the details. put it.
No, in your actual command contacts.
Right,
So in command contacts, you can put as many people as you want.
right, but how do you get that onto that?
It automatically. It's automatic. I didn't put those people in my contacts on here. It's an automatic thing. Does that make sense?
Yes and no, but like, I say blank, and I need to put Joe Schmo in there. Do I just write Joe Schmo and it'll match it up and bring it all in?
No, you have to hit. So if you noticed, there was actually a little blue button right here.
Okay,
See a little man?
right.
Sorry, the little person, not the man. Could be a man, could be a woman. The little person right there.
Okay.
Everybody see that little person?
Yes.
So that'll be on each of your tags right there, all the way out.
And then it will let you choose.
Correct. The seller will not be part of your contacts. So he shouldn't be unless he's your client. So that's why you add him on the contract side. But all the information may not transpose. The bottom part won't. Country, state, and zip code won't transpose over because those are pre-dropped and they can only be put in after the country and state are put in. Everybody understand that? And it may seem time consuming. I will tell you, once you get used to this, you fly through it. And I'm used to my own computer, which is a lot larger and has an actual mouse, and I fly through it. But now I think everything's filled out, and I hit save. Now I will preview it to make sure that I don't have any mistakes. But I will tell you, this part's the most time-consuming part of the whole thing. Once the details are done, everything gets a whole lot easier, a whole lot quicker. So I have my buyer's name, her address. I have the listing agent. I already did my information. Hey, Martin. You get a haircut? He didn't get a haircut. He got his head shaved. And here's my buyer agent one. Go back up. I'm going to look back here a little bit. I'm going to say Greenfields, purchase price done. So it's all saved right. Documents. You're getting ready, guys. I hope you're getting excited. We're cha-chinging along, cha-chinging along. My man Farrell's writing a contract tonight. Mir and Keisha are going to get a phone call about 7 o'clock. I'm losing somebody. I bored somebody to death.
Yeah.
Al, how do I keep them in here? How do I reel people back in?
That, I don't know if that's, I'm gonna buy her for.
If people don't know, Al is our actual professional comedian. He does shows, or before COVID, he did a lot of shows. He does some stuff for us. So how to reel people back in, or what are they doing? Insult them as they're leaving. So we're going to hit Add Plus. Everybody see the Add Plus button?
Yep.
See where I'm at, Al?
No. Oh, there.
Okay. So details are done. We're going back to documents. Now the office was nice enough. Now when you hit DocuSign forms, Al, if you're not updated, they're going to ask for your NERDS number. Do they ask for it?
When I click that plus.
Okay, so when it comes up, what comes up here? This is what tells you when you haven't been fully integrated into the system.
What am I doing? DocuSign form?
Yes. If it does not say what it says right now, you've not been fully updated.
No, it says see no.
I say see Terry. So when you have DocuSign Forms Library and DocuSign Forms Group and DocuSign Forms, okay? The office itself has been nice enough to set up some actual groups for you. It actually has a full buyer residential packet of forms you most likely will need. You want to click right on this one. It goes to the same residential packet. It'll give you a list of forms you might need. You click on the ones you want. But it doesn't give you the whole list from NJR. That could be this long. That takes you 10 minutes to roll through and figure out which ones you want. So we hit the buy residential packet. I know, because you're not, your NERS numbers is not in. Okay, that's right. So always in a contract's required. So that's self-explanatory.
Yep.
Depending upon who your buyer is, there's certain other things are going to come up. The business relationship one is part of a KW form that you should sometimes, if you're using Green Tree Mortgage or you're using AST title, you will need the business relationship disclosure. Some people like to use the importance of home inspections for especially those first-time home buyers. FHA loan. Make sure you click on this if your buyer's FHA or VA. You'll need that. Okay? We'll click it for just for help for the now. Short sale addendum that you see right there. If you're buying a short sale, click on it. You will need another addendum we'll send to you later on if you're doing a short sale, but don't worry about it now. Well and septic. Before you do a well and septic house, ask someone about it. So you can give information about well and septic to your buyers or sellers. You want to know all about it. Who's Jeannie? What she look like? Oh no, she's not here. Never be. Seller concession. Make sure you do use this if you're asking for money back. I normally put it in the remarks section and I just start a concession so it's clearly spelled out.
I have a quick question that's totally like off subject.
It's okay.
Regarding swimming pools, is that only for like in ground or does it account for above ground? Because above ground can be like taken down.
Right. I believe it's in ground, right, Al?
Honestly,
Yeah. I haven't either, to be honest with you,
Okay.
but I have seen people use them before.
Right.
They are something newer that's been used more recent. I've seen it, especially my North Jersey agents. They love it.
Out of our Cumberland County agents that have.
Now, these addendums, they're just giving the buyer or seller information?
Your
Disclosure?
disclosure, right. Right. If you're getting an FHA, if you're getting an FHA loan, there's a few spots that need to be filled out. Need to be signed because it's required. Number one, it's required by the lender for the FHA then. So it's a requirement either way. Dual agency disclosure. Even if your buyer is not selling, but not buying a KW property, still get to sign. It's one of our required forms. But we are a disclosed dual agent. So, because no matter what, even though Mark and I are the same agent, we're the same company. We're a dual agent. All of these are Rosalie's listings. We're an umbrella under Rosalie. So since we're an umbrella under Rosalie, little teapot. Since we're an umbrella under Rosalie, we're all considered dual agents.
Okay.
And then finally is your lead-based payment disclosure. We don't need that one. Buyer agency agreement. If you do use it, some do it, some don't. I'm not really a fan. Sorry, not a fan. I'm actually using them, so I don't really click on them. Hold harmless. Some sellers will require this, and it'll say in the actual MLS that they want it. Put it in there if they want it. The wire fraud is already part of your contract. Don't worry about it. And then the CIS. Anybody know what a CIS is? Consumer information statement. Your clients must sign this. Some agents actually bring it to them first meeting the people. Have them sign it so you have a copy for your records. And you can put it right into your actual consultation form and command. You will need it to get paid. You're going to need it. No CIS, no getting paid. Click on add. Did you click on add, Al?
I did.
Okay. So now I'm going to explain something to you guys so you fully understand DocuSign and how it works as soon as it comes up.
I have a quick question while it's loading. If there's something you miss, it's gonna somebody along the line's gonna let you know, like, oh, you missed this form?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know what? Your goal is to check it, ask questions. You know, for our new agents who are on this, your PC coach is Keisha Granger. She's available to help you at any time. For new agents, ask Rosalie. She is the broker of record. She wants to make sure you're doing it right. And you can ask me anytime as well. I do enough contracts at the back of my head to know everything. I know everything, know mostly everything.
Well, also in Command, there's a section that it says it's submitted for review. So who actually reviews the contract and how long does that take?
So submitted for review is not submitting to Rosalie, it's submitting to compliance to make sure you have the required forms. So a contract is not a contract until a buyer and seller sign it. If you want help writing a contract, if you're in Little Egg or Brigantine, you can call Ron too. He's more than happy to help you out. Again, I said you call me, Rosalie, Keisha, anybody in the office will be more than happy to help you out. Don't call the Farrells because they don't know anything. So I want you guys to look at this blue form right here. See where it says form and it's blue? Al? See that blue in its form? That means it's an editable form in DocuSign. You could also upload PDFs, which would have a red little tag on it. Those you cannot edit in this first section, but you can make changes in envelopes. But what I'm saying now is, here's my contract over here. Here's my contract. I can click right on the contract. Running a little slow today, so I do apologize. Save and close at the top of the button. You can actually make changes that you need for this right on here and save and close it. So the more stuff you do here, the easier is the envelope is. You're just setting up signatures and getting it out the door. So this is your second part. That might take a little bit of time, but the more details you filled out, the more stuff came up here. If you miss a section, you can actually go back and fill it out here. So remember I said we are both the buyer and seller. So if you guys sell a listing in the office, you are both buyer and seller. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Some people miss that a lot, so don't be afraid if you do or don't. I am writing the contract. Okay? No signatures will come up here, because those don't come up until we do the envelope. This is just for the actual contract itself. Scroll down. Everything I did in details is all filled out. I don't have to do anything right now. In the past, we had to do all this stuff. Now it's a lot worse. This is in the tax map in Pleasantville. And I need the lot and block, which I get from Realist. Block 65, lot 77. See that right there? That's where I got that information. And I transpose it over here. Block 65, lot 77. But everything's filled out pretty much that I need to be filled out. It's already done. Now the mortgage amount is not filled out. I have to do that. My buyer's putting down 20%, which is $33,000. It would be a 132 mortgage. And the difference I have to make up as well, 5,000 minus 33 is 28,000. Make sure you guys fill this out and make sure you do your math right. Get a calculator. Don't try and do it in your head if you don't know. Get your fingers out. Use your fingers. Write it down. But nothing makes you look a little embarrassed to another agent when you can't add up 4 numbers. Scroll down a little further. deposit, you just click on title company, and it's already in there where it's going. Any questions so far?
The deposit going to whoever we're going with.
So it's
Like on the VA one I'm doing tonight.
no, it goes to the actual title company. VA insures the loan. Okay, so they insure your mortgage. They don't get the money. They just insure it.
How would you know what title company?
Whoever you choose to use, Land Insure Title, if you want to use here, your buyer may say, hey, I want to use this title company. It's up to what your buyer wants to do. You could suggest, you can't tell, but you could suggest. The company suggests Land Insure Title. In here, you put your mortgage amount. You want to make sure this is filled out, again, to be an actual legal contract. Just click on it with your mouse, and it's 30 and 30 is your terms. You guys see this? You're going to be doing this tonight, probably. Mortgage commitment date, give yourself a VA 45 days. Conventionally, you can go 30 days. So if today is the 1st, I would do the end of the month, 10/31/2020. And a closing date, right now, everybody's slow. Closing dates are going to try to be about 45 days. Your lender who gave you the pre-approval for this person should give you an idea on a time frame. So you want to try and do, if you're 10/31, at least 10 days later. Look at a calendar. You never want to set up a closing date for a Saturday, because that means you didn't do your job. So just click decide, and actually pulls a calendar up for you. I look down, and I can actually do the 6th. I can add 7 days, will be the 13th. So, but you know what? I'm not going to close on Friday the 13th. So I'll do 11/12/2000. Roll down. Inclusions. Inclusions are on the MLS. So if you go to the MLS, now I might have lost it by now, and I'm still here. Now this is an old listing, so it may not be there, but it tells you what's included. All these appliances are included. Some people will write appliances per MLS. Some people will actually, see if it works, copy and paste it, Control C, back to here, Control V. All included, just got to add a little commas in. And write it all out. I'm not really good at it. And it's a little quicker this way. Some people are very fast typists, and they can fly right through it. Exclusions. Exclusions will also normally be on the MLS and additional remarks. Keep your eyes out for that. If you remember, this is a negotiating tool, your contract. If you see something in the house, your buyer says, oh, I really like that. Just throw it in there. You can always say no, and it's a negotiating tactic. There's a playground in the back that looks like it's pretty easy to move, but pretty nice. Throw it in there, like gym in the backyard. The above ground pool, type it in there. If you don't type it in there, you can get to that closing and it's gone. Very easy. You just have a big circle in the backyard. Fireplace. Make sure you're right in there, fireplace equipment, if you want that their stuff. All right, so as we scroll down, I normally have a mouse, so it makes it a whole lot easier again, as I tell you. The CO is already in here at 1.5%. I wouldn't even touch it. Just leave it the way it is. And we normally assume no assessments unless it's been named to us. Al, if I do anything different than you guys, please let me know. So it's interaction's good for me too. Because Al writes a ton of contracts. Property is a single family. It's a multi-family. It's a 2-family, 3-family, 3-family, 4-family, 4-family. If it's a 5-family, stop. You cannot write a residential contract on 5 units or larger. It goes to an attorney, and an attorney writes it.
Now, what qualifies it as multiple family? Like, is there multiple kitchens
It would be listed as a duplex. You could have a single family home with 2 kitchens,
Right, okay, right,
2 electric meters, 2 gas meters. You're almost guaranteed a duplex.
right.
There's tenancies. This is very important. If there is a tenant in that property, please list this. Know the security deposit. Because if you go to closing, you don't list this, the buyer goes to move, the tenant moves out 6 months later, they don't know to collect it, they'll actually have to pay the money out of their pocket, even though they don't own the property. You're protecting your buyer. Fill it out. Get the information. Lead-based paint, not applicable. If it's applicable, click it. I'm starting to bore out. I need a joke now. Everything that's left blank here already has something in there. Don't worry about it. Don't touch it. You don't need to fill anything out. The nice thing about our contracts are they're already filled out for us. The POET systems. I've not found one house in New Jersey that actually has the POET systems. It's a special type of well system, I believe, for New Jersey. So I wouldn't worry about that. I was putting that applicable. It would be listed in the MLS where the seller would know about it. But cesspool is a common occurrence. In New Jersey, you can no longer sell a house with a cesspool. So if it has one, the seller's getting you, putting a brand new septic system in for you, but you're paying cash for the house. But we're going to put not applicable because it's in Pleasantville, and most likely it does not have a cesspool, especially built in 2004. Scroll down again a little bit more. Oh, there's another one. No cesspool. Again, we're scrolling through it. It does go faster. I am stopping and teaching you guys. So again, you can imagine I would just click, 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 click through this. I'd be done in a second.
What you're saying is any of the boxes, that's all pre-filled?
No, it's right after it tells you right there, there's something right there. So you can see right here, 14 days after attorney review.
Right.
So if a seller wants smaller, or you guys want smaller, or you're trying to make a deal, you can negotiate it out. Sometimes I do NAs on my bank loans. I just cross them all out. So it really depends how you're writing. For a regular house, leave them the way they are. If they want to change it, it's part of your negotiating tactics. But it's already pre-filled, and it's pre-filled more towards the buyer than the seller. Our contracts are heavily buyer favored. Scroll through it, scroll through it. Okay, we're getting to important pages. Okay, we're getting next page. Okay, here we go. Commissions. Okay. Who we are. What's going on here? So this is where we fill out all our information. We want to make sure we have the company information IDs on here. Now, sometimes they do automatically refill. Just so if you guys don't know it, write this down. Everybody get your pen and paper ready. Company code is 1325075. You need this for your contract. I'm going to give that there for a minute so you write it out. You need this for every contract you do. I don't know Martin's, but I could get Martin's on the MLS by going to Paragon, going to membership, agent roster, or even on the MLS if he was there. But I hit Martin. Okay.
There's a link on the home page on the top left in Paragon for looking up numbers.
Right. It's not his listing yet, so I didn't have it. And sometimes agents don't put it in there. It's not in there sometimes, so you can't get it. But it is normally in the actual, as you said, right in the MLS. If you click on, this is an old one, you can actually click on her name right there under her agent name. And it sometimes might be in here. She's inactive now. She's no longer in the business. The company itself will have their information also by clicking right on it, and you can get their office ID number right there. Is that what you were talking about?
Well, either that or there is, Paragon's done a great job of putting links on the home page in the center, in the white section. So it says RE licensee, and you can click that and it takes you right to the other page if you don't have it bookmarked
Okay.
in your computer already.
Right here, RE licensee search.
Yep.
Right there, RE license search. Okay. So now the address of the company, for some reason, came in this little block here. I might have messed this up. I would hit Control X, Control V. You do want to put his email address in. For the listing contracts, never fill out the seller's commission. They have a listing contract signed for a reason. It's none of your business. Could be making less money, could be making more money than you. Still none of your business. Don't fill that out.
No, don't you have to put the license for Martin in there, his license number?
I do. Here, it's right here. Had it a second ago, agent roster. Here's his number right here. Let's see. Okay. The same thing, I go here, 132-5075. And then my information, 0234-914. You guys should know all your license number off the top of your head. I don't see anybody looking up your license number. It's like your social security number. Now this bottom one here, you don't need. We're disclosed dual agent. So you don't even need this part filled out because we are part of the same office, but you can do it both, even though you're the seller's agent. It is disclosed dual agency. And I put my commission down, that's 3%. That information is in the MLS. So when you're looking at the MLS, it'll show you what the commission is. Some will, in the Bright, especially Bright and those other counties, you'll see 3% minus $100. You put in the 3% minus $100. All right, and then if your buyer is an agent, you click it right on here, applicable, and put their name. As we come down to this part at the bottom, nothing else filled out. Click on what's included. We have a seller concession, and we have the FHA. We would normally click it if you have an FHA in there. We're not going to do it today, but you would click it because we're doing conventional loan. Lead-based paint, you would click it. As seller concession, I put in here also. Seller will pay $4,000 or 4,000 words, years. I'm gonna use closing costs and prepaids, whatever you want. I also make sure I put in there, seller will obtain certificate of occupancy. Even though it's in the contract, emphasize it. We want to make sure we get it and get it right. So this form's all done now. It did take a long time. Again, I'm teaching it. That's why. When you go through it, it'll be so quick. That form is all filled out. The FHA addendum, I'm not going to be using. So if I know I'm not going to be using it, I'm going to click on this and actually delete it. If you don't need it, get rid of it.
That's not deleting it from the packet, that's just deleting it from your deal that you're doing.
It's deleted from this one.
Right, okay.
It's still in my documents up there. It's just deleting in here. Now, if you want to click on each of these forms, so if there's anything for you to fill out, just click on it real quick. I'm going to go right back to that in 1 second, okay? This is all filled out. There's nothing for me to do. So save and close. All right, so form consent, disclosure, is there anything other form here that I can get rid of? No. So Al, if everybody notices, when you put your mouse on a form, a little zero pops up. You click on the zero. Once you click on the zero, my toggles come up. My toggles allow me to do different items. Delete was a button that was added in about 2 months ago. It used to be archive, but now you can actually delete forms. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Oh, I opened it up by accident. Ugh.
Noel, should the commission statement be on there yet?
No, the commission statement is not for, it's only for the title company. Your buyer does not sell a commission statement, your seller doesn't sign a commission statement. It's for you to give it to your title company. You understand?
Yeah, I had it on mine, but I didn't click on it when I moved over to envelope. So it's still sitting there waiting to go
Right.
where it needs to go.
Unless it's a for sale by owner and you're getting a seller to sign a commission invoice or commission, something like that, that's when you need it. Seller concession, make sure you do click on that and fill it out. Again, most forms are already filled out, except we didn't have put the commission in there. We're getting a $4,000 credit. The reason that I use it on both forms is because just in case there's some confusion or a form didn't get missed, it's on the contract and it's on the concession, it's known. Better to be safe than sorry. So next stage, envelopes. How do I get there? I hit select all. Everybody see that? Select all.
Yeah.
My toggles come up. My pen comes up. My pen is my DocuSign form. This is now turning into an envelope. We're past 2 o'clock, so I hope you guys can stay. I'm not going to shut you off and leave you hanging. The envelope name is for you guys, however you want to name this. Normally just name what it is. Initial contract offer. However you want to do it, it's for you. You can see I use the initial contract a lot. What you want to look at here, you know what? Let me see. This is where you can move your forms around for what you want to come first. So now my contracts first, my disclosure relationships. Hold on one second, I need this phone call. Hi, this is Noel. Okay, how far away are you? How far away are you? Okay, let me call home, thanks. Bye. All right, guys, 1 second, okay? Wait for this phone call all day. 7 hours later. Wyoming. They'll be there in 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so that's how you can move your forms around. Disclosure of business relationships is more for you and your buyer. Your actual seller doesn't even need that page. It's not really them, it's for you and your buyer. As well as the CIS. That's for you and your buyer too. In your subject line, you're putting what you're signing. We're signing 131 contract, 131 Greenfield. Any message you want to leave to your clients. Now, add recipient. Very important here. Pre-tagged roles works for the blue forms only. Everybody understand what I meant by the blue forms?
Yep.
Right. So now when you hit pre-tagged roles, a screen comes up and you could choose who's signing. Now, who do you represent?
The buyer.
Right. So the seller's not your concern at all. So you're signing for the buyer 1 is going to be Gloria Serrano. Sales associate is going to be me as well, because I'm the sales associate. That is just for your form right there. Don't even worry about the sellers. Buyer agent is going to be me. And the listing agent you can include on this to actually receive the contract. Now, the reason that you may want to receive the contract for him is because if you want them to make sure they get the contract right away after your buyer signs it, it goes automatically right to them without you having to do anything. Now, if you want to receive it first and then send it out, you have to get it and then send it out. It could be a step. It could be a whole night before they get it. If they send it midday and you don't get up till like 11 or 12, like me. But you just hit add selected. Now, on the bottom here, this is something that I do. I actually move these around to work for me. Now you see sales agent and buyer's agent. That's only because of the buyer disclosure form we used that does not list it as an actual buyer's agent, listed as a sales associate. One and the same person. So I am going to be 1 and 1, and my buyer is going to be number 2. The reason my buyer's number 2 is because you want to get it first, make sure there's no mistakes, sign your side. Once you're done, they get it. Once they sign it, then goes to the listing agent. And the listing agent doesn't need to sign, he just needs to, sorry, scroll down, receives a copy. Once he receives his copy, he'll put his signatures in there and his own seller signatures in there because he controls the seller. Everybody understand that?
I do.
Yeah, you sure do, Carol. All right, so the next stage we go to is, I gotta roll around this thing right here and go to next. Everything's ready to go. Now see, I made a mistake. I can tell I made a mistake before I even look at it because I'm actually missing someone on here. Because normally, if you do this right, you have multiple signatures on this first page. I only see yellow, so that means I made a mistake. So how do I fix that? It's really easy. Hit the backspace. My buyer's signature didn't come up. And remember, what do I say every time? We all make mistakes. So I'm going to come back to my pre-tag roles and see what I did wrong. So my numbers, for some reason, didn't come up right. Got back to 1. Nah, it shouldn't be, but we'll keep it that way. 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's fine for now. Only because of the disclosure of business relationships. Was that on there that says sales associate? Matter of fact, we're going to get rid of this form altogether. So now the sales associate should even come out of there. If I click or go on, now, again, you can make your changes any time to these, or all from the beginning. All make mistakes. Pre-tag roles.
Shouldn't that be buyer 1?
It should be, and you know why? Probably why? I probably made a mistake. Oh, there's buyer 1. You're absolutely right. Good job. I don't know why it's 2 separate spots. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what.
did listen to you.
Good call. So we all have to make sure we don't make mistakes. And look, she caught me on a perfect mistake. Great job. Listing agent, we have that guy. Now it is Martin, but we used someone else's email just to make my things easier. Not that I couldn't understand your email, it's just it was too long to figure it out over the phone. And the buyer's agent. Now it may look a whole lot better. They're all ones, but we're gonna make a couple of changes here. He's gonna get it third. You only make one change at a time. Buyer's gonna get second. And my listing agent is only gonna receive a copy. Sometimes you're gonna add attorneys onto you. Carol's a premier situation with this. The attorney wanna see it first before anybody did anything. So we made him number one, and that's number two, her number two. So what we did is when the attorney received it, he made a change. We went back in, made the change, and we're able to just go right back to normal. So the attorney, when you put an attorney's name in, it's add a recipient. Scroll down a little bit more. Email address. Right there. Put his name in, and he needs to view. Not receives a copy, but needs to view. So he'll look at it and make his changes to it. So now,
He can't go into the contract to make a change.
Excuse me?
He can't go into the contract to make a change, right?
I can.
The attorney?
The attorney, he cannot now.
Right, so with my attorney, the attorney I was working with viewed it and then sent me an email of what needed to be added.
Correct. And you just went into the document and made the change.
Yes.
It was really easy, correct?
Pardon me?
It was really easy, correct?
Yep. I just copied what he wrote and pasted it in the provision section.
Right, that's all it is. Now we're gonna hit the next key right here. Let me try and get to it. And now you're gonna see the difference. And I can tell by the first page when I make mistakes. Now I have a yellow and blue. So now I know I did it right. The other time the blue was missing, I knew I was wrong right away. It was an easy mistake. I was able to say it before I said anything else. Now the good news is, this thing is pretty much done. I don't need to do anything on here except for really scroll through this. You cannot sign it now. You have to wait till you send out the envelope before you sign it. But everything should be ready to go. Initials, it's all there. I already filled it out, so everything's in there. All the pages are already on here.
What if in the contract there was something that you could cross off? Just a simple thing over on the left-hand side to be able to do so and then add your initials?
Yep. Well, and here's a good thing too. When you're writing a contract, if you're making a change prior to buyer and seller signing it, you don't need to do any initials. Once a buyer signs it and you send it to a seller, then you need to make changes. Before a contract is signed, it's a regular contract. You're going through it for the first time. So nobody's initialed anything yet. Once they actually once you initial it, then you have to initial things. You understand? So to make a change, here's your pen right here. So you have markup tools. You have standard forms, custom fields, notary fields. I can actually add a notary stamp on here. I can't notarize it, just take a notary, but actually I have the stamp fields or my little markup tool. My markup tool is a line. If I didn't want, say I don't want the CO, I can actually just do a line, cross it right out, click it, do another line, and cross it right out. And that's it. I keep on going. Now, it's not a permanent change for me. Oh my God, I did the wrong paragraph. Idiot. Click right on it, delete. Click right on it, delete. You see the blue dots on it that are on it right there in the corners? Now you see that? Delete it, and it's movable. It's movable, changeable, anything you want to do. Now, if I go back to my standard fields, an attorney calls me and says, Noel, you need to add some text into this paragraph right here. I can cross out a word if I want, and I can add in my verbiage. It puts it all right there. I take my little paragraph, stretch it out, and I have one line. It's simple as that. It's so easy to make changes to this contract that it's never been before.
Where'd you go for your ad text?
Under my standard fields, and I go to the word text.
So if you need to add to a sentence like a phrase or something, I understand the text, but how do you like put it in the sentence?
So you can actually just go like this. So say I could just draw a line right to it. So this line I could draw any way I want. So I could put a line right there and say it's going right there.
Okay, yeah.
And so now you can see the line pointing to that paragraph right there.
So the computer, the programming automatically does that for you? Or this is just like a rough copy?
The way you see it is the way it'll print.
Okay.
It won't actually insert the phrase that you
Right.
write into the paragraph.
And this is acceptable to have it this way, and
Yeah.
everybody signs it, and then, oh,
Right.
okay.
Now, it won't show up as yellow. This is for you to see. It'll show up as regular stuff.
And will it be down on the sentence where the end of that red line is?
The red line is there. That pen. That red line is there. The yellow, the highlight part that you see right here. Oh, sorry, you're not gonna have here. The yellow part you see right here. This right here.
Uh-huh.
The yellow doesn't come in. Just the letters, just the word comes in. Yellow is for you to see what you did. Does that understand?
So then when the contract goes to the seller, it'll be, that sentence will be in where it belongs.
Right. It'll say Shaker documented.
Okay.
That's my comedy app. Just scroll through this, but everything's there in the contract. You don't need to add initials. Everything's all ready to go. And you already filled it out in before in the blue, so you're ready to go here. So there's nothing for you to touch. Only if you want to add any phrases. Now, what I said before, if you have a PDF form, you would have to actually add on all the signatures, all the little features. So if all of a sudden I wanted to add someone into a special initial, say I did make a change later on, I could add my buyer name right here. I click on initial. I bring her over. The initial looks a little too big for me. I can even make it small. Everybody done different things now. You can actually right click, copy, go down to the next page. And paste. Yep. And what did I do? Paste location. Paste to location. There we go. Probably have like four more boxes up here now. Let me see. Do I have more boxes? Where was I? Oh, I'm going too fast now. Yep, we're good. Okay, so everything stayed the same. Everything's there. Just scroll through it. Now, anywhere you see these blue little boxes, I would get in the habit of deleting them. They're a witness signature that, unless you have someone going in there, it could, I'm not saying it will, it could create issues for your actual envelope to be finished. Maybe asking for a signature later on from someone else that's not on here. Just delete it. You'll see it also come up in the lead-based paint addendum. Now there's two, oh, these were the initials popped in right over here. Now how do I get rid of those? I actually just hit delete or backspace, anything, gets rid of them. So it's really easy. Wire fraud, like I said, already was on here. That's on there. Again, that came in there. I deleted it. That's why you check it. Check it. It's all about checking is all about. Just to scroll through. Just don't send something out without checking it. That's why you're the expert and you check it first. It's all in here. It's all ready to go. Buyer's agency. Now I want to make sure that this is filled out right. The buyer's signing it right there. His name's there. I'm there. I never check the box, so I got to check a box here. I come over to my name. I'm editing it. My standard fields are as a checkbox. So I am a buyer's agent and disclosed dual agent. If you're representing a buyer and you're signing for the first time, always hit buyer's agent, disclosed dual agent. Because if you sell any listing Keller Williams, you're disclosed dual agent. And then if I want the date down here, I can put date sign when they sign it, or I can just add in the date by typing in text. I'm typing in the text the date right now. What is 01? No. 1001 2020. Guess what? I'm all done. I'm going to hit send. I'll get notification. First, the move was made in the beginning. Second notification, I'll get on my watch on my phone. Do I want to sign a document? At the same time, it's going to ask me right here. Needs my signature. I'm number one, so I better need my signature. Click right on it. And it shows you your list right here. Current, waiting, and who'll get it. So once I sign it, it goes to them. Once I'm done signing, I can even text my buyer. Guess what? Contract's at you, please sign it. If it doesn't sign, if day goes by and never signs it, I can go back out and hit resend again. I say, hey, you forgot to sign this, make sure you sign it. I go to more, and I hit resend. Calls me, Noel, I changed my mind, I don't want to sign anything. Okay. And I hit void. Okay. Said that other word quietly, so no one, I can't get in trouble. You guys didn't hear me, did you? See, good. I got in trouble last week. And then next thing I do is I just hit sign.
And then that signed all the documents you need to sign.
It's going to go right to me, and I'm going to hit continue, start, sign.
Oh, okay.
If I made a change, it's going to ask me to fill it in. I just skip because I already did it. I sign again, and once I hit sign, it's going to finish. I don't want to finish because I don't want to delete. But I'll sign it because she won't know what it is anyway. And the date, I thought I put it in here. I might not have.
You did.
I did, and I can just hit finish then probably.
Nope.
I may have done something wrong, so I'll do it again just in case. 10 1 20. Now again, it might come across to the buyer that there's a double date there, and it overlays. Sometimes mistakes happen, so nothing's perfect. That's the least of my worries. Because the good news is, now the seller will get it. If you don't want the seller to get it right away, the listing agent get it right away, you can get this back and take out those two forms they don't need. Because they actually don't need one of those forms. They only need the contract and the seller's concession. Okay? Now we're waiting for others. We'll see if Gloria calls me or if she signs it just for the hell of it. Any questions? Remember, next week's a big week. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, we're doing a full DocuSign again. I'm going to do a buyer and a listing contract. On Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, it's all about commands. Make sure you spend the time. It's only 2 hours. Spend the time. It'll really help you out, guys, a lot. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Remember, I'm always available for you to help you out. Call me anytime. Just don't call me too early in the morning.
I have you on speed dial.
No, you don't. Well, I got your name, so I know when not to respond. Have a good day, guys, okay? Oh, wait, I got another question. Hold on. Let me get back to that screen.
When the contract comes back from the seller, and are we going to cover that in one of the classes of how to make the changes?
Yep.
Right now, the contract that we did together is under highest and best.
Okay.
And they have to be in by noon on Monday.
Okay.
I don't know how many offers there are, but.
So you can just do a new contract. and sign it again. I wouldn't cross it out because cross-outs look bad, and attorneys hate them.
Yeah.
I would just do a new contract and get signed again. Make sure your seller wants to go up highest and best too.
Well, we're going to determine that over the weekend.
Okay. All right, guys, have a great day and enjoy your weekend, whatever you do. You're doing open houses. Make sure you're ready for your open houses by bringing with you a list of properties for sale in the area and the closed sales in the area too. So if they ask, wow, that's pretty high priced, you show them that where they're sold for selling, it's a great price. You'd be crazy not to get involved in this house. Be ready, be prepared, and have a great day.
Thank you.
And as I say, let's be safe out there. Let's Street Blues.